Welcome back to another Out of Spec Reviews video. We are just outside of Stuttgart where we have a Renault Megane E-Tech. Now, we're here in Europe and we're like, we got to get as many cars to test as possible. And we decided, we ran into some of the guys from this dealership and they said, hey, come on by. We have a Megane E-Tech you can take for a little test drive. And I was like, oh, 100%, let's go. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of this car. I'm then going to drive it for the first time. If you guys like it, maybe then we'll reach out to Renault and ask for a press car and do, you know, some in-depth testing with it. But this is my first driving experience of the Renault Megane E-Tech, and just right off the bat, oh my goodness, does this thing just not look incredible? I have so many cool little nifty things to show you, including this little light show that happens when I walk away. It makes this chime. It only makes the chime, by the way, when you physically walk away from it, not when you actually click lock. So we have a lot to go into in this Megane E-Tech. Because a lot of our audience are based in the US, just so you know where this car fits in, by the way, relatively reasonably priced, a competitor with sort of ID3, maybe ID4, depending on spec, but actually built on the Nissan Ariya platform. So we have a lot to get into. Let's do it. This is the Renault Megane E-Tech, and this particular one is the EV60 with 220 horsepower, so it's the top version you can get. Now, underneath the Renault Megane E-Tech is the Nissan Ariya CMF-EV platform. It's a shared platform, adapted to this car to be a little bit smaller. The interesting thing is this car's maxed out trim is sort of the Nissan Ariya's starting point. No all-wheel drive available, no big battery. Again, you know, that 70, 80, 90 kilowatt hour battery pack the Ariya gets, not available here. This, you can either get a 40 kilowatt hour or 60 kilowatt hour battery pack, I believe both usable. And this one, of course, is the 60 kilowatt hour pack with the 220 horsepower. It's a 160 kilowatt front wheel drive electric motor. Now, in terms of styling, this is what Jordan likes, of course, he's behind the camera, so I'm sure we'll get his opinions when we go for a drive, but wow, this looks so mega. And come around to the rear as well. While you go back there, I'm just gonna kick the parking lights on so you can kind of see what those look like, because they're so intricate, so cool. And if you just come all the way in here, you'll see these little lines, which I just absolutely love. It's really a cool detail. But if you back up a little bit and take a look at this car's proportions, it's really tidy. It's not very big. You know, it kind of has these SUV styling to it, but it's very much a car. I think Renault calls it a crossover, if you will. The paint color, gorgeous. Don't know the name of it, but it's really wonderful. This is sort of, in terms of options and spec, not the highest you can go, but one down. So we have animal-free interior, non-leather interior, no sunroof available on any trim, actually. And this one has manual seats instead of power. This one also has a manual tailgate, but no power tailgate is available. Take a look at the trunk space here. Pretty good. A little bit of underfloor storage with an AC charging cable. By the way, 22 kilowatt AC charging available, I believe, on all Megane E-Techs. There was a trim, a base trim of this car that they actually stopped producing very early on in the cycle that didn't have any DC charging and would only 7 kilowatt AC charge. That's no longer on sale. And that was called the EV40 standard charge, but you can't get that anymore. I think they only delivered a few of them. And now pretty much all of them, the 40 or 60 kilowatt hour pack, can do 22 kilowatt charging. And those are, again, usable numbers. Walking our way forwards a little bit, this is how you open the rear door. Take a look at this handle, really quite nifty. And for a car that's this reasonably priced, I would say this one's about 50,000 euros, but I think they start in the high 30s for the standard battery. Really high quality feeling. The interior is nice. We'll go on a quick tour of it. French cars always have these little weird quirks and oddities, but it's very concept car vibe to me. We are on the Goodyear Efficient Grip something or others. I think that's what they're called. Efficient Grip Performance. And so that'll be really interesting. Made in Germany. 20s, yeah, looking good. Coming around the front, of course, we have these LED headlights that do this little startup and shut down dance. So let me lock the car. You give it a half a second and you'll watch this little light show happen here inside the headlight housing. So just give it one moment and it should do it. Did it for me last time. Oh, maybe because I have the parking lights on, it won't do it. 1 second. Popping the door open. Take a look at these door handles, by the way. You see how they slide in and out? Very interesting. Let's see if they can put some pressure in. Nope. But it just keeps trying. It doesn't try too hard. We'll go back to automatic for the headlights. I'm gonna click lock now. And now we should see this little light dance. Did it do it? There we go. Isn't that nice?
Nice.
Just a little touch. Love that. And when you unlock it, the same thing happens again, which is pretty cool. Couple things about safety with this car that I've never heard of before. If you happen to get into an accident and a fire brigade comes up for whatever reason, this is the rescue code. It shows you where you can cut the car, where all the fireman details are, where the high voltage loop cutout is, which is a nice, interesting QR code. I don't know if this is just for the German market or for others, but I think that's a really good design. Another crazy interesting fact that I found is this is a lithium-ion battery pack. I don't know the exact chemistry of it. If it happens to catch on fire or have a thermal event, as engineers like to say, there's actually a place where you can hook up a hose to the battery pack and just flood it with water. And rather than dunking the whole car in a container full of water, which is a lot more common here in Europe with more EVs than it is in the US, you can literally just hook up a hose to the battery pack and let it run through for a few days until everything is totally fine. That's a really neat touch. Let me pop the front for you. No front trunk in this particular one, but if you just hang out there, I'll open it up and I'll show you what's underneath here. Mostly the onboard chargers, a little power electronics, things like that. Front motor, of course, because it's got everything up front. Where's the latch? How do I open it? French car, always in a weird spot right here. Okay, so you have onboard chargers. What's interesting is there's a separate one-phase charger to the three-phase charger. So I think it can do 7 kilowatt single phase, 22 kilowatt three-phase, and those are separate. I don't know why they would be, but I think they are. Fully liquid-cooled battery pack and motor. You know, Renault's been making the best electric car for ages. The Renault Twizy, pictured right over here. This is one of their mechanics car. We're over here at a dealership, which I need to look at the name to pronounce it correctly. It's pronounced Kofink Motors. And our friend Jan is kind enough to loan us this, and he's going to join us on the test drive and talk about selling them in Europe and what his impression is of the car and everything. He's a super EV nerd, you know, not like sales pitch mode, but he's just a car enthusiast. So I appreciate that, and we asked him to come along for the video, so he'll be in the car. I haven't sat inside of it at all yet. I've only taken a look at this exact car in an event. We actually shot a video at this event where it was like Tesla's taking over Europe or something like that. Modified Teslas everywhere, I think was the title. And this was there on display, and I went up to it, I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And Jan said, hey, come and drive it. So here we are, driving it. So take a look at the inside now. Door panel looks really nice. Okay, like the materials, seat materials look good. Google operating system here in the center, so very Polestar-esque, if you will. I think that's smart. Renaults in the past, if you don't know, have had really crappy UIs, like just the worst. And so I think this is a big upgrade. 58% state of charge is indicating 236 kilometers. That's a guessometer, so it's totally based off your driving. So that looks nice. I'm gonna sit in there in a second. Let's talk charging. I've told you about the 22 kilowatt AC charging. Charge port only on the passenger front side. Everyone's putting ports in different places, but this is where the Taycan has it. Up here for DC charging, full CCS connection, CCS2 on this particular car. 130 kilowatt peak charging on the big battery, 85 kilowatt peak charging on the small battery. What's funny is, I don't know if this is legally mandated, but I'm glad Renault shows all of this. Essentially, they show you from 0 to 100% on the different battery packs. Again, this one doesn't exist anymore, just these three. And then 0 to 80% on the small and big ones. So 85 kilowatt charging on the small battery, 130 on the big one, 1 hour, 14 minutes, 0 to full, 0 to 80% is 42 minutes. That's not class leading by any stretch of the imagination. Is it a reason not to buy the car? No, it just doesn't indicate to me that it's a road tripper. And so I kind of wish, I don't know, you know, for European EVs, it's like fast charging is not as high of a priority or of a concern as it is in the US. You pull up to an Ionity and you see everyone with these small EVs, they're hanging out, having some Wiener Schnitzel, they don't seem to care. In the US, we're all like plug in, 10 minutes later, we're like, let's go. So for the European market, this seems to be adapted pretty well. And 130 kilowatt charging on this pack would indicate that the Ariya with this battery pack, if tuned the same way, should do 130 kilowatts. That's a good sign. But I also love that Renault shows this information right here. They tell you what happens as it starts to run out of charge. So at 12%, you'll get an orange signal. At 6%, you get a blinking red signal and also some noises on both. At 5%, it sort of goes into turtle mode and the vehicle will start to slow down. And I love that they literally tell you what happens. Like, what do we even need to do our job anymore for? This is what we test. So thank you, Renault, for all of the information. Makes our lives a little bit easier. And I hear that when you hit 0 kilometers, Renault actually says you got another 10 kilometers left in the tank. So 0%, 10 kilometers. I don't know how that's going to go with age or if I would bank on that. But either way, it seems like they're really trying to be transparent about the range, the ramp down procedure, the charging. You know, for the price of this one, I think it's about, after taxes, 42,000 euros after you take all the German incentives out of it. It's got to be the best looking car on the exterior. What do you say you guys hop in the back? I'm going to sit in the driver's seat. Actually, let me try the back seat first. So the driver's seat, Tijmen was just sitting in there. He's pretty tall. So let me try the back seat. Okay. Wow. I actually have headroom. I didn't think with this compact design I would. And I'm not even really maxing it out. I can feel the top of my hair brushing. We have 2 just basic normal vents here, but that's nice. If you compare this to Kona electric or things like that, I don't know if those cars have air vents in the rear. Seats. The material itself doesn't look that premium. This looks very Nissan, low grit vinyl material back here. But I love this material. This center bit right here is really cool. No center armrest in this particular one. But nice that they went with a black headliner. Makes it feel a little bit sportier. I like it quite a bit. Again, there's tons of different options in spec depending on market, but automatic windows. Even if you take a look at this sort of knurling on the window switch, what is going on with that? That's really nice. Piano black door handles though, those are going to get covered in fingerprints, of course, but nice accents and actually plenty of room in the back, surprisingly so. This would actually make it like a good Uber. Let me hop in the front seat now, see how this feels up this way. Ooh, nice door thunk. Door handle feels solid. So everything feels solid. Whoa, the seat's pretty squishy. I guess you would expect that. Again, this one's not the max trim, so manual seats. The key, by the way, is kind of this very thin bubble shape, but it's very plasticky and weighs almost nothing. You have a phone charger here. I kind of hate wireless phone charging in cars. Okay, there's a lot to absorb here. First time I'm sitting in the car. This is a nice little spot to put the key. We have deep center armrest, which is cool. This is sort of where in the Ariya the whole thing moves forward and back. Power button over here. That's like the least impressive power button. Just the same plastic. Don't know what's going on there. It says vehicle checks in progress. Okay. So I guess we're good. The vehicle's been checked. Let's get some climate going on here. So fan up, auto. There we go. Soft, auto, and fast. Love it. And sync. Okay, fasten belt or switch off. They really don't want you driving here. So first impressions, this is genuinely the first time I've sat in the car. How low does the seat go? Pretty low. Nice seating position. So I've driven ID3 quite a bit, and to me this feels similar in sizing on the inside. We have a traction control off button, which is nice. ESC off right there, so that's good for skids. Really love this dashboard material over here. This screen is pretty sweet. Hazards right there. Everything feels pretty high quality. The steering wheel, nice. Wish it was round, but it's French, so it won't be. The French always like to reinvent steering wheels. We got like a whole bunch of stocks going on here. So on the left, turn signals and headlights. No way to turn headlights off. You have this crazy high up Tesla-like shifter. So drive, reverse, and park. That's a pretty flimsy feeling shifter. Then you have your hazard lights here. And then what the heck's going on here? So you have volume up and down. Source is this switch in the back. There's like a little roll wheel in the back. That might be for track. Then source left and right, and then mode. I'm not really sure what all those do, but I'm sure you would get used to this if you owned the car. You have poor weather lights you can turn on and off. I like that it shows you percentage and your projected range. If I take a look here at this display, you can see very similar to Polestar. Everything is kind of here. Let's see if it does route planning. So we want to go from here to Munich, let's just say. Oh, that may not be far enough. Let's say we want to go to Austria. We'll go to Graz, where we've shot a whole bunch of Magna videos coming out on the channel over the coming days. So you can see multiple charges needed, add charging stops. Boom, instantly. Charging stop, charging stop, charging stop. Why do so many people have a hard time with this? And Renault can do it in their city electric car. This is great. If you're building a new car, or you're a new car company, or an existing one with a crappy infotainment system, which is most of you, just get this. This is great. It seemed to do a pretty good job. So it's getting us there at 11%, and then we pull in at 29. Like that. 52-minute charge though, long charges. Again, this isn't really an optimized car for road tripping, but that's not really the point. We can have different profiles that we can set up here, which is great. If I come over here to vehicle, so we're in the comfort. So let's go through these really quick. Electric. We have our energy flow, consumption, a consumption graph. It's amazing how similar this feels to Polestar, but better. It's a bigger screen. I really like this. A little bit fingerprint prone though. Instant charge, delayed charge, and program. Battery pack. Nice. So you can charge, let's see, what do they want you to charge it to daily? Whoa, what the heck? So they want, oh wait, I see. So the maximum daily charge is 80%. That's where they want you to charge it every day. And then you can go up to 100. Right, so do you want to change the charge level once or permanently? This is a great idea. Since it's a test car, we'll leave it at 100 because they full charge it every day. But that's a great way to communicate properly your charging limits and to have it return back so you're not constantly full charging a battery pack, which isn't good for it. Into settings, we have sound emitted by vehicle at low speed, neutral, pure, and expressive. I don't know what either of them mean, but I guess we'll just leave it on whatever it's on. Okay, this is the things we would have to test if we had more time. 360-degree view camera, look in all directions. I thought that's the point of the camera. Oh, here we go, 360, boom. Whoa, cool. Not the highest quality one we've ever seen, but again, considering the price of this car, its market value, how premium it feels for the money, that's kind of nice. It also has automatic parking. You can see the wheels over here as I'm turning them. Looks like a pretty quick steering ratio. That'll be interesting to play around with. Back to the car screen, automated park, air quality, what the heck? So we have an air purifier. Oh, and it says auto mode, windows closed, and it's sort of purifying the air even further. And it's doing some different fan speed stuff. That's pretty neat. Driving eco. So consumption, they've gamified this a little bit with stars, and it'll tell you how much you're actually saving by driving smoothly. And eco. Driver assistance, we have following distance, blind spot, driver monitoring, lane centering, departure anticipation, don't know what that would be, alert vibration medium. So this, I guess, would be like how quickly does it push you back in the lane if you hit it. Some of the translations probably would be adapted if this was sold in a native English-speaking country. Maybe it is, I don't know. And then we, of course, have all the settings that Google systems are great for giving us. Sound settings, wow, just everything. Very Volvo-esque. We're used to this type of approach here with XC40 and C40. Really good stuff. You have all of the different car stuff. It does over-the-air updates, which is great. Update history. Looks like it did one on June 28th. Okay, wait, that doesn't make sense. Is it even June 28th?
Yeah, it's July.
Oh, we're in July?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right, we are in July. I received an email this morning from someone, and they're like, oh, we're having this party at the end of July. I'm like, why are you emailing me 2 months in advance? Don't you know you can call me like a day before, and that's the only way I know if I'll be there? Okay, well, that makes sense. And then multi-sense comfort configure. Oh, so this is like my driving mode for comfort, eco, sport, and my personal one. So you can configure each drive mode. Let's set up my personal one. So we want the engine, sporty, sure. Steering effort, low. Vehicle dynamics, sport. But I don't believe this has adaptive chassis, so this might be different. Life on board. Ambient lighting, interesting. We have a palette of 48 colors that we can change everything. Yeah, we'll just have it change, and you can see ambient light strips. here, and here very Audi e-tron-esque. Light intensity, I love that. Climate, normal. This is kind of nice that we can go through all of these things, and then you can reset it. Anyway, I think enough waffling about the car. I would say my initial impression is you can definitely tell it's a little bit more of an inexpensive car with some of these plastics, but everything feels really actually not that bad. I'm not against plastic use in the car. The key is not the most premium thing. I am a big key guy. You think you need to have a nice key. Yeah, really just sort of blown away by the styling, the package. I like that they're honest about everything in their marketing materials about what happens and when, and their charging. It's not designed to be a long distance road tripper. It's designed to be, you know, for someone living in an urban environment. So let's all load up in the car and take it for our first drive. What do you say? Welcome to the inside of the Megane E-Tech. We have Jordan, Tijmen, and Jan. And your first time on the channel. Welcome, Jan.
Hi.
And so you'll be telling us a little bit about the car and where we should go and all the stuff throughout the drive. But so far, first impressions, we just went through the interior. Now that we're all in here, 4 people, no problem.
I'm impressed, honestly.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. All the switch gear is kind of funny, but I think you would really get used to it quite quickly. I'd like this dial on the back here too. What's the dial used for?
The dial is used for changing your radio station or for the next song.
Okay, yep, like very cool. That should have been the volume, and then this should have been...
Yeah, it should have been, yes.
Anyway, so we're in comfort mode. So to start... There we go, into drive. And then I have regen paddles. So we have from no regen, 1, 2, and then up to maximum regen. Let's try it out with no regen to start. So creep is on to, let's just see, maybe 7, 8 kilometers per hour, something like that. If I go to the left all the way, still have creep. So there's no one pedal mode in this then. Right, Jan?
Nope.
Yeah.
Only creep mode.
Only creep, yep. But that's okay. That's a nice GTI. Very cool. And make some noises. Very quiet though.
Yeah.
And you can set that, of course. So here we are, full deceleration and regen. Feels pretty good. I just want to see if we go no regen on the paddles, hold the left one. It doesn't do like the Kona thing where it pulls back in. Interesting, it gives you this percentage of charge and power display all the time, which is very interesting. So initial impressions are the sizing's nice, the steering wheel's super premium.
Yeah, this doesn't feel as cheap as the price tag dictates.
It feels a whole step above ID3.
Yeah.
Like a whole step above. The only real advantage I think that ID3 has over this is the rear wheel drive.
And matrix headlights.
And matrix headlights, that's right. So these LED headlights will go wider in the town and then more narrow on the highway to get a longer beam, but they don't have matrix functionality, I would say. But let's try just a quick acceleration. Everyone ready in comfort mode? Just a quick one. Yeah, feels okay.
Full throttle.
That was to the, yeah, and there's a little kickdown switch too, I assume for eco mode to get full power at speed. So that'll be kind of interesting to play around with. Is it possible to hop on the highway for a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
Great, that'll be cool. Oh, does it kick the throttle when you're speeding? Is that a thing?
Nope.
Okay.
But I know what you're feeling. That's a mechanical thing. I can't explain what that is.
Okay, yeah, so there's a little vibration in the accelerator pedal, which I've never felt.
To the left.
To the left?
Follow the
truck, okay. Brake pedal feels very brake-by-wire-y. Yeah, but not too terrible. So, we were discussing just before we started, there's some driver assistance in this car as well, which we're going to try out, which has obviously adaptive cruise and lane centering and a limiter function, but then there's this circle with a square around it on the left side of the wheel here, and this will automatically go to the posted speed limit, more or less. So this is turning on speed limit following or off. You can also set an offset to the speed limit in kilometers per hour, not as a percentage, but you could say +5 and it'll always go to 5 over pretty much.
Yep.
Which seems nice. So once we get out of this traffic a little bit, we'll drive it some more and we'll keep you updated as to how the Megane E-Tech is just in our first little test drive experience, if you will. But initial impressions are just great. Turn indicator sound volume.
That's cool.
Everyone asks for that. So we've just taken it up the road for I don't know, literally a 500-meter stretch or so. And everything feels so much better than I expected coming into this. Obviously the design is great. but I thought it would feel a little bit more, I don't know, plasticky or low cost in the driving side of things. It's tuned pretty stiff. I mean, part of that's also just because we're on the massive wheels and it's got little rubber band tires on it, so you can feel some of the small bumps and everything, but we'll have to rip it around some off ramps and things like that. But I like the throttle calibration in maximum regen. I think it's good. I think the only downside here is no one pedal driving.
Yeah.
So every time you come to a stop, you have to take your foot off the accelerator pedal. It regens, then it stops regenning, then you have to touch the brake pedal. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but we're at some Porsche buildings. I don't know what happens, but that's cool. Oh yeah, so active driver assist here. So I'm going to click the bottom right button and it says press set to activate. Great, so I will do that. So now here we are set.
Now press the button with the round sign.
Yep, and it's in auto, so it's going 110 because I have it set to 100, and it's active lane centering now. And look at this display.
It's nice.
It doesn't seem to show other cars, but
There will be in the future an option to show up.
oh, an update to do that?
Yeah.
That'll be cool. And we can set our distance from 1, 2, 3, 4 different distance settings. If I click the turn signal, it basically accelerates, knowing that I'm going to indicate for a pass. I'm doing this manually, and then as soon as I'm here, it locks back in.
Wow.
So that's the best way to do it if you're not going to do an auto lane change, to hit the signal, throttle on for the pass, and then merge over. And it follows pretty close.
This is good.
This is really good. Yeah, not much waffling here. I mean, it's braking very smoothly. It's not freaking out.
See, this is confidence inspiring. Some
This
other cars are.
It knows it's 70 coming up, so it's already dipped down to 80 ahead of the sign.
Nice.
This is really good. What the heck? It's got heated steering wheel, heated seats. So maybe we should try going here. Oh, I can also just use my Sport Chrono. I don't know what they call it, but it's very similar to Porsche stuff. And I can go to Sport mode. Oh, so the dials go red, of course.
Nice.
We have max regen on, Sport mode on, steering effort high, vehicle dynamics sport, engine sport. So, sounds the same. It's a really high quality sounding electric motor and nicely damped. You don't get, in a lot of cheap EVs, you get so many weird harmonics and frequencies that come through that like pierce your ears. I haven't heard that once so far. Okay, everyone holding on. Great, here we go. So even with front wheel drive, you don't hear traction control really kicking in too hard. A little bit of, inside tire wheel spin. It was obviously cutting power back. Definitely no locking diff on the front, but it has an ELSD. But yeah, good input. And that's just one corner, but it feels pretty nice. Nice smooth accelerations here. I think we'll go back to comfort mode, cruising on the highway. This is not a de-restricted section of Autobahn. So what we'll do is we'll hop over to the middle lane. We'll put it back on driver assistance. It'll lock in at 120. I can click, oh wait, I have to hit set. Then set, oh there we go. Set, hit the sign, and now it'll go 10 over. And let's see how this thing feels cruising down the highway. First impression, quite a lot of wind noise coming from up here. But no tire noise, no road noise, but a lot of wind noise.
Yeah, I think mostly mirrors.
Yeah, mostly mirrors. If this had digital mirrors, that would solve a lot of things. Driver assistance is great.
Yeah, this is really good.
And it's actually pretty smooth as well on the big bumps. So that's kind of as I expected. You get these, you feel a lot of the small imperfections in the road from having the thin tires on the car. But once you hit some larger bumps, it actually does waft a little bit. And having 4 people, of course, does help settle that down. So let's go back to the closest setting. I'm going to initiate a lane change overtake. So left turn signal, it's speeding up. As soon as you hit the signal, it cancels lane centering. And then once we go back over here, it should kick back on. And there we are, back on. Great. Nothing but good things to say about this.
So far, yeah.
So far. A little bit noisy in the wind, but other than that, seemingly zero complaints.
Yeah.
Other than I wish it was rear-wheel drive. But if it's going to be front-wheel drive, you got to live with it. Oh yeah, also digital mirror. Yeah, we're pretty familiar with those. I think those are a great tool to have, especially with such a small window opening in the rear. This is nice. Of course, it's got the bendy mirrors because we're in Europe, so the side view mirrors actually have a bit of a convex convex portion, so you can see more cars. It's got blind spot monitoring built into the mirrors as well. And of course the headlights go from a narrower, longer beam at nighttime when you're cruising at higher speeds. One last note to make before we sort of end this small little clip is when you're using this automatic speed function and you have it set to go 5 or 10 kilometers over, for example. I don't know what he was yelling at me about. Then it will only do this above 60 kilometers per hour. Oh, should we see the top speed of the Renault Megane E-Tech? Does this mean it's delimited, Jan?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into sport mode. Oh, Taycan going for it. So left lane, let's go chase down the Taycan. Oh, old Mustang over here. Okay, well, we'll try. Oh, it's a little soft on the big bumps. 165 indicated, 166. Not too bad. 167. Super smooth at this speed. It's almost like the wind noise didn't even increase. Man, that guy in the Taycan is just
Gone.
way up there, stuck in traffic now. I love how people rip around here.
Yep.
Well, there we go. Top speed in the Megane E-Tech. I think what we'll do is we'll loop around, head back. It feels good. So, yeah, pretty soft on the bumps. Yep. And there we go. Big regen, 100% regen off throttle. If I back it off a little bit, it goes 90%. If I back it off again, it goes 30%. And this one should be close to 0. Yeah, 12%. So there you go. There's your percentage of regens for each mode. Volkswagen Arteon. Is that an e-hybrid in front of us like we had? The GTE? Split tailpipes?
Yep.
All right, well, get out of the way for the Megane E-Tech. This thing must look pretty good coming behind. It was a hybrid, yeah. And off we go then. We'll see you back closer to the dealership then. So far, really impressed compared to this car's competitors.
Yeah.
And its target market. Yeah, like this a lot. All right, everyone holding on. ESC off, sport mode on. See how this thing handles going around some corners. So Jan, I know you've never ridden in the car with us before, so good luck.
Yeah.
So coming through here, braking test, just so you know. So you do get ABS feel into the brake pedal, but still the blending's not very good. A little bit of spinning on the inside. Again, merging in. All the red lights coming on that we're following too closely. Renault Trafics, though, those rip. We've never seen a slow Trafic before. Everyone in one of those is on a mission to cover distance. So we'll go traction control back on, de-restricted, wide open throttle. And you can actually rip around in this thing pretty good.
Feels great.
So there is a peak rating of 160 kilowatts for this motor, and then there's a nominal rating of, I want to say 56 or 58 kilowatts, something like that. It's around 77 horsepower consistent. But that's a 30-minute rating at wide open throttle.
Wow.
I don't know why you would need that. No one drives like that. Because even at max speed, you don't use full throttle, or you're not using full power. So that's just an interesting thing. But 160 kilowatt peak, just like any other electric motor, is rated this way. So yeah, so you could either hook this up to a Wi-Fi source or use the internal Wi-Fi, but you can watch Netflix, YouTube, whatever, at a charger, which is really nice now. And again, the benefit of having a Google operating system or something better than most internal ones is updates, is functions being added. I mean, to me, it's like everything's kind of done right with this whole UI. The styling's nice, the weighting of everything is nice, looks premium. People are driving really slow, I don't know why. We got the Volkswagen Crafter in front of us. Yep, all right, see you over back towards the end. So just playing around on the highway with some of the gauges and things here, and you can see we have these round displays here, but you can also choose to go for a full map. Take a look at this. So if you want your destination or your directions right up there, you can go for it, and then you also have your important information up on the roof, or on the display. Then there's like a little comm screen, or you can go back to the circular dials, more traditional sense, if you will. So let me go over here to the circular dials, and then this right toggle right here should circle through all of these. So you can see coming up, eco monitor, tire pressures, our distance on different trips, and then you can see real-time consumption and average consumption. So as we're driving, this will tell us you know, sort of what's going in or out of the battery pack in a real time. Otherwise, I prefer to actually kind of leave it on this percentage, which is kind of a nice display, so you can see how much is being output or regened back in. Yeah, man, I keep saying it, but this is just all really, really good here. Everything we would look for, this thing kind of has. Does it have a heat pump, Jan, do you know?
Yeah, it does.
It does, very nice. Is that optional?
No, not anymore.
No, it's standard.
It becomes a standard as of today.
Wow, as of today?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Good news. And let's just, you know, city car, squeeze around city traffic. Boom, there we go. Awesome, as you would expect. Well, there you have it, a quick ride in the Renault Megane E-Tech. A huge thank you to Cofink Motors, our new friend Jan over here, for taking us for a quick cruise. Really a great package for the money. I'm pretty impressed. There were really only 2 or 3 things that I thought needed improvement. The first is the brake pedal, just a brake-by-wire, maybe a little bit snappy, hard to modulate. Didn't like that so much. There's a clicking sensation in the accelerator pedal, like a little actuator's going in, and it was doing it almost the whole time. I don't know if that's just a problem with this specific vehicle or on you know, normal, but it's definitely something's got to be fixed there. Other than that, I mean, for a city commuter where, especially here in Europe, distances between major metropolitan areas aren't so far apart, charging stations are plentiful, this seems to be, you know, sort of the right car at the right time. Styling wise, it definitely looks cool, gets great looks out on the highway. And all around, very pleased. We fit 4 people in here very comfortably. All around, yeah, good first experience here. Kind of impressed, blown away, if you will. Didn't expect anything this good from Renault, and like, wow, it's awesome. Why would I say that? They make my favorite car in the world, the Twizy. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video, and we'll see you soon on another one with maybe some other cool electric cars coming up. Bye-bye.